This is Akashvani. In the program Spotlight, now we bring you a discussion on 8 years of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Gramin. The participants are Gaya Prasad, Deputy Director General, Ministry of Rural Development, and Aditya Shukla, Akashvani Correspondent.
Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana has completed 8 years today. This scheme was launched on 20th November 2016 with an aim to provide housing for the poorest segments of the society. In last 8 years, how the scheme has impacted, or if I can say, the change it has brought in the lives of millions of the poorest of the poor in our country. To talk in detail about PM Awas Yojana, we have invited Deputy Director General in the Ministry of Rural Development, Gaya Prasad ji, in our studio. Welcome in the studio, sir.
Thank you.
First of all, take us through the 8 years journey of the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. From where did we start and where we have reached? Also, it is very important to mention it here that this scheme is one of the most successful schemes of the Modi government.
As you have mentioned that the scheme was launched on 20th November 2016. The scheme since beginning, there are 3-4 important steps that the government has taken, because in the past also we have so many rural housing schemes in the country, but why those schemes were not so successful as compared to the PMAYG? Because since beginning of this scheme, it was clearly provisioned in the provisions of the guidelines, and when the Union Cabinet gave the approval for this scheme, one thing was very important, that the list of the beneficiaries who are the eligible for this scheme. In the past, there was no such provision. Earlier, before the PMAYG, one scheme was the Indra Awas Yojana. Under Indra Awas Yojana, the provision for identification was the any household member below poverty line household. But here, there is no concept of BPL or APL under PMAYG. You may be aware that there was one socio-economic caste census which was conducted in year 2011 and the report was published in year 2015. That census was the complete enumeration of the households in the country, in the rural household. Under that census, more than 17.5 crore households were surveyed, and then it was identified that how many households are living in the kacha houses. And based on that census, it was identified that 4.03 crore households in the rural India were found eligible for the PMAYG. And when this list was prepared, the list of Gram Panchayat wise, village wise, block wise, districts wise were finalized, digitized, and it was shared with the states before launch of the scheme for verification of those households, because census was conducted in 2011. After due verification by each Gram Sabha and village functionaries, they reported that out of 4.03 crore which was identified as per census, only 2.95 crore found eligible at the time of the launch of the scheme. That is why this universe of the PMAYG was decided that under this housing for all mission, the target was fixed for 2.95 crore. In this way we arrived. This list was finalized and freezed before the launch of the scheme, and there was no one in the country allowed to add any name in that list. 2.95 crore is the universe for the PMAYG, for the total target for the PMAYG.
PMAYG means
Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin under this scheme. In this way, we have identified the list of the socio-economic caste census also led, and many flagship program of the country, they are using this socio-economic caste census, but PMAYG was the first. And it is clearly defined in the provisions of the socio-economic caste census that what are the exclusion criteria, what are the different exclusion criteria, what are the different inclusion criteria, who will be eligible and who will not be eligible. Suppose if any rural household has the pakka house, they are not eligible. If they are living in the kacha house means roof kacha and wall kacha, then the house would be treated as kacha. This list was finalized, criteria were defined, and one important intervention is that because we are using the technology in a big way, because in the past it was observed that the past scheme before 2016, many schemes, the problem area was to use of the IT solutions.
Out of 2.95 crore, as you mentioned, so how many houses have been sanctioned or they are on the ground?
In the last 8 years,
Yes.
because it was the earlier phase of the PMAYG, out of this 2.95 crore houses under the rural housing scheme, we have sanctioned all the houses. Houses have been sanctioned to all the beneficiaries, and 2.67 crore houses against 2.95 crore have been completed. Even in the recent event which was organized on 17 September 2024, where Honorable Prime Minister has handed over the keys to more than 26 lakh beneficiaries in a event, and this was a digital program. The last 8 years, we have constructed houses on daily basis, more than 10 to 12,000 houses on daily basis under this scheme. Credit goes to the states because states are implementing this scheme.
And also here I would like to mention direct benefit transfer, which has transformed the way the scheme are implemented in our country. Post 2014, the DBT has been implemented by the Government of India. So how do you see the role of DBT in making the scheme extremely successful?
In the earlier mode, checks were distributed, cash were given to the beneficiaries under many schemes. But under this housing schemes, since beginning of the scheme, we are using this direct benefit transfer. There are three important information that we are capturing under the scheme is that one is the account number, one is the Aadhaar number, and also the mobile number. Because when we are sanctioning the houses, we are communicating through SMS to the beneficiaries that your house has been sanctioned. Now you are eligible to get the first installment. This DBT since beginning we are using, and funds are directly released to the account of the beneficiary since inception. Now DBT we have moved one step ahead. Now we are using Aadhaar payment bridge. For the current year, that is from 2024 onwards, only one mode of payment is allowed under the scheme is Aadhaar payment bridge system. So now all the accounts of the beneficiaries have been linked with the Aadhaar number, and we are using the Aadhaar number in a big way in implementation of the scheme.
As I was scrolling through the social media platforms before our interaction, I came across this line, which I want to quote here, that PM Awas Yojana has provided crores of Indians with more than just a home. It has offered dignity, stability and hope. Your take on this?
We are not only constructing the houses since the beginning, because convergence is the key. One way we are providing the financial assistance to the beneficiaries, to the states and then beneficiaries through DBT, and also we are converging with many good number of schemes. I would like to mention here that we are extending the benefit of the water connection under Jal Jeevan Mission through convergence with the drinking water Jal Shakti Ministry scheme. We are also providing the gas connection under the Pradhan Mantri Yojana, and then also providing the electricity connection in convergence with the Deen Dayal Jyoti Yojana of the Ministry of Power. We are also converging with the Swachh Bharat Mission Gramin to get the benefit of the toilets, because toilet is an integral part of the house. Without toilet, none of the houses under the scheme would be treated as complete. We are also converging with Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Guarantee Scheme to get the benefit of 90 days and 95 days unskilled wages. So this comes around 27,000 approximately. And then one way we are ensuring that the beneficiaries should get the benefit of many, because house is not only the wall and roof. House is basically has the basic facilities, and basic facilities since beginning. That is why PMAYG is accepted by the beneficiaries across the states, and because they are getting the benefit of not only financial assistance, also getting the benefit of many more schemes.
As you rightly mentioned, that a house is not just a house, it should have basic facilities also. So the government is also making sure that PM Awas Yojana house has all the basic facilities that are needed for a family. So after the Modi government came to power for the third consecutive term this year, the first decision it took was to enhance the number of Pakka houses that are to be built under this scheme. So how many more houses are to be built, and what is the progress in this regard?
In the budget 2024-25, it was announced that 3 crore additional houses will be constructed in the next 5 years. 2 crore in the rural areas and 1 crore in urban areas. And now the government has not only announced in the budget, Union Cabinet had given the approval in its meeting on 9th August 2024, and they have approved construction of 3 crore more houses in rural and urban areas with a cost of more than 5 lakh crore. One announcement of this government is that now we are going to conduct fresh survey. The Honorable Prime Minister has already launched the Awas Plus 2024 mobile app, which will be used for conducting the fresh survey for the identification of the additional households to get the benefit of houses in next 5 years. This time survey would be conducted by the surveyors. The surveyor will visit to the Gram Panchayat and villages. There is no need to submit any application, anything to anyone. Surveyors will visit to each households and they will capture all these details using the mobile Awas Plus 2024 mobile app. This mobile app has the facility to even go for conducting the self-survey. So this time household has this facility using this app to upload their credentials if they are eligible.
In last 10 years, as you mentioned, from 2014 to 2024, 2.95 crore houses, that is around 3 crore houses have been built. Additionally, 3 crore houses will be built in next 5 years. So the final numbers comes to 6 crore. So what we have achieved in last 10 years, we will be completing in just next 5 years.
In the last 10 years, if we include urban and rural, we have constructed more than 4 crore houses. Under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin, we have completed more than 3.44 crore houses in the last 10 years. Under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin, 2.67 crore have been completed, and in the last 10 years we have also completed 77 lakh pending IAY houses. So these pending Indira Awas Yojana houses were also constructed in last 10 years, and that number is the 77 lakh. Under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban, more than 88 lakh houses have been built. So if we include, it is more than 4 crore houses that we have constructed in the last
rural
10
and
years.
Urban areas.
Urban and rural both. And more than 3 crore houses will be constructed in next 5 years.
Next 5 years.
Yes.
I just want to take a very short comment from you that how the scheme is empowering women.
We are not only constructing the houses, we are empowering the women in the country through this scheme, because since beginning of the scheme, the houses are being sanctioned in the name of the women. And now it is mandatory. If any female member name in the list of that household, the house will be sanctioned in the name of women only. And then not only sanctioned, the funds will be released to the account of the women beneficiaries. One, this is under the PMAYG. Similarly for this one. Other way, we are also empowering the women because now we are converging with National Rural Livelihood Mission. So female member of the PMAYG households, we are converging with NRLM and extending the benefit of the promoting the women member to join the self-help group to get the employment opportunities for generating their income. This scheme has clear-cut provision in our scheme to sanction the houses in the name of the women.
So is there any criteria or any provision for reservation under this scheme?
Under the PMAYG, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin, since inception of the scheme, there is a clear-cut provision in the guidelines that minimum 60% of the targets are reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribe communities. Because the purpose of the scheme is to provide the houses to the needy one. And in the last 8 years under this scheme, more than 1.5 crore houses have been given to SC and ST communities. And this is reserved. Reserved means no one has any authority to change at any level without getting the final approval. Suppose if in a particular state they have saturated all the SC, ST households under the scheme and no one in the entire list of the state under SC, ST category. In that case, after receiving a letter from duly signed by the Chief Secretary of the state, then the Ministry of Rural Development gives the approval for shifting of targets from SC, ST to others category. Because social inclusion, social equity and a special focus to the SC, ST persons.
Yes. I just want to mention one quote from the government that Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin is more than a housing scheme. It is a movement to empower rural India. With that, I thank you, sir, for coming to our studio and giving insights into one of the most successful schemes of the government.
Thank you very much.
You were listening to a discussion on 8 years of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin. The participants were Gaya Prasad, Deputy Director General, Ministry of Rural Development, and Aditya Shukla, Akashvani Correspondent. This program was produced and presented by the News Services Division of Akashvani. You can listen to it on our mobile app News on AIR, This program is also available on our YouTube channel, News on AIR Official. You may share your feedback about this program through email at airnsdtalks@gmail.com or WhatsApp on 928-909-4044.